I think the story time won't be as exciting as it usually is, because I'm gonna go into like why we're kind of sitting in a different
new studio.
Yeah, there we go. New studio. I like it. At my house. Yeah. So obviously you can tell there's been a change. We did try to make the discs in the background for you in the basket just to create that vibe again, and I like it, and I think AJ did well. But for story time, I'm going to tell you a little story about the little shop that could not.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean it's not the little engine that could. It's the little engine that just did not.
It tried its best.
Yeah,
Just
it did.
only so much you can do.
And I came into this too like wanting to not just put such a negative about the Conroe shop, because a lot of positive also came out of it too. I wouldn't be sitting here right now doing a podcast that we've already, somewhat of established if it wasn't for that shop. I met you there.
Very true.
I mean, you wouldn't have.
That's how I found out about Lucky Ace and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I met a lot of cool people there. It was a very exciting experience for the first few months. I mean, things were good. But yeah, unfortunately, situations changed. We were forced into like finding somebody that could run the shop for us on a daily basis, which was the hardest thing to do. And I shout out to Connell Stillwagon, guys at G. If you can put the clapping sound in the background, that'd be great.
I think I got something for you.
Yeah, I mean he did a phenomenal job. I want to just shout out to him for all he did for the Conroe shop. It was tough for him just coming in and being like, hey man, can you not only, check people out, but can you run the shop for us while we're gone? Because we're going to be gone most of the year. And he was excited. I mean, he was all about it. And, at first things were great. But the traffic just slowed down. A lot of that had to do with our store hours. They kept switching. Some would be updated on the UDisc. Some would be updated on Google. I had so many people, that called and were upset that we weren't open on certain days that it said we were supposed to be open. It was just a big hassle between all the people that had set up the website, set up the Google, and set up the UDisc. It was hard to finally get a hold of all that, and then gaining that trust back was probably the most difficult thing to do. And it being that we weren't even close to a course, I mean, it kind of killed us, if I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, the location's tough, and the big group of courses are maybe 20, 30 minutes away. So I mean, there's like two kind of near the Conroe shop, but yeah, it's hard to get the hours and stuff figured out. Are people looking at Google to get it? Are they going on UDisc? Are they going on the Lucky Ace website? Are they going to the Instagram? There's so many different things that have to keep up to date that it's hard. I mean, it's not an excuse, but it's hard to keep all that wrangled together.
Yeah. And so unfortunately, towards the end of the year, it just became a huge burden to me and Lucky Ace just to keep the shop open, because we were tied down in a year deal with the owner of the building. Shout out to Irene, though. I mean, that's the thing. Like the people that I met, the relationships that were formed with Jake, Lindy, I enjoyed being there. Like when I was there, like, I mean, it was a good environment. The rent was fairly priced. I mean, I think that was one of the main reasons we hopped on the opportunity. I mean, it was such a great rate for a busy area.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the busiest areas in Conroe. I mean, we're across the street from Raising Cane's. I mean, there's Home Depot, Best Buy, Target, all that stuff. So much construction though, and not only that, there was so much going on. It was almost too busy for a disc golf shop. Like nobody's really thinking like, hey, let me go over here to this area for a disc golf shop. I mean, it is. I mean, there's everything that you could think of in that area. Not only that, but we're also inside of a building, not really a storefront.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people were saying they couldn't find us. Some people did catch the sign, which we had a really cool sign designed by J-Dub. Thanks for that. But it just wasn't enough. And the traffic was just not there. So with all that being said, January 30th was the 31st, New Year's Eve, after the Jackson Bros doubles that we ran.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped by and I just pulled the last of the stuff out, and it was completely empty. And they actually already have somebody else.
Dang. Well, good on them. And like, it's a really good location. Maybe just not for a disc golf shop, but I mean,
Right.
it's the traffic that naturally passes by. I mean, that's how I saw it. I was just driving on that street because if you live in Conroe, you will be on 105 at some point.
Mhm.
And yeah, seeing the sign there is great. So good on them. I'm glad they got another tenant in there.
And the thing is, the cool thing about that area, I mean, or that building is, when we were there, when we first started last December, nobody else was in that building. There was two massage therapists and then a counselor, and then this other guy upstairs. But there's plenty of buildings or little suites open.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's full. I mean, it's completely full, but it's construction guys and roofers and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
They need a little small office space. So it works perfect for them. Great area.
Yeah, just not for disc golf.
Not really for disc golf. So yeah, so we did close that place down finally. I can tell you, it has been a weight off my shoulders. It was tough because I wasn't able to use the money that was being poured into that shop to grow the business as much as I wanted to this year. Uh, I need to focus it on the people who are putting in, the hard work. The main one being Debbie, obviously. So come our next meeting with Debbie, which will probably had already happened after this, when this comes out. But yeah, taking care of Debbie is my number one priority right now.
As it should be.
It is. I mean, she's done so much over there, and it got to the point where her hard work over there at the Zip and the online shop was helping me pay the bills at this place, and that was the most it was the most stressful like thing that I've had to go through as a business, because I've been Debbie before, and I know she deserves more, and she's gonna get it. She's gonna get it finally. Now that it's just her being employed by Lucky Ace. So I do tell her all the time. I'm like, look, I'm gonna get rid of myself before I get rid of you, Debbie. So don't worry. Lucky Ace needs you more than it needs me,
Mhm.
and that is I'm not exaggerating either. That is the truth. So a big shout out to Debbie for sticking with me this year through the tough times that we went through, because we did go through some tough times, especially with the economy being the way it is. The just the even the weather in the summer. I mean, everything just like added up to be just a horrible year, 2023 for sales and for entrepreneurs. I mean, not just me. I mean,
Business shut
I've
down
heard
left and
I've
right right
heard
now.
plenty other. I talk to. I mean, when I'm traveling, I'm talking to these big shops, and they're telling me the same thing. I'm not gonna say who, just because I don't want to put anybody's business out there, but everybody's struggling. I can tell you that. People are focusing on other things besides disc golf now. One of the guys, close friend of mine, Jonathan Tree Love. I can talk about him because I know he don't care, but he's focused. He's like, bro, I'm not even bringing discs to the pop ups no more. I'm just bringing my merch. I don't know if you saw, he just dropped his own pickleball website.
No, I didn't see
It's
that.
called Centerline.
Nice.
Bro, it is so sick, and it's the same Tree Love vibes in disc golf or in pickleball, and he loves that stuff, man.
That's awesome. That's good. When you have a brand like that, you can use it to promote where I guess the interests are. I know pickleball right now is just blown up.
It's huge.
It blew up like a couple years ago, but it's still riding that popularity wave right now.
And Jonathan's good.
That's
like
good too.
he's really good, man. Like he's doing lessons, and so shout out to him if you want to go check him out. Centerline pickleball. They got their own website now, and I think he's focusing a lot more on that now. And good for him. The one thing I've loved about Jonathan and him being my mentor, because he has most definitely been my mentor through all of this, is learn to adapt and grow, and that's what he's been doing since day one. That's what I've tried to be since day one. So Shout out to Jonathan. I really appreciate our relationship, man. You don't know how much you've helped me. Those talks that we've had at my parents' house when you were there for Loso, like those were deep conversations, and to have that with somebody that's in my position was needed. You talk to a lot of the people who have like all these great ideas and they have the best ideas for your business, but it's different when you're actually making those decisions. So to talk to somebody that is in the same position to make those decisions, and you got to eat it, you know what I mean, or you gain from it. It's different. It's a different position to be in, and talking to him about it was a breath of fresh air because I was like, oh, I'm not the only one, man. Like I thought I was doing something wrong, but it's just the economy sucks, man. Let's just be honest with it, man. It's nobody wants to buy plastic right now.
Yeah, people are kind of tighten the purse strings on a lot of things.
And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I know it's tough, man. Like you got other things that prioritize that wallet. I have a kid. I know how it is. Like I'm not buying discs right now either, unless it's premium vault mint plastic.
There you go. Yeah, or the collector's party. That's always
Discraft or MVP.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, no, it's rough. And like you said earlier, like the weather this year, it was just dumb, painful, dangerously hot during the summer. So I know a lot of my own sales come from me just losing a disc. So I wasn't playing, I wasn't losing discs. So therefore I wasn't buying more. So
that too, and a lot of our sales generate from our flexes.
True.
And if nobody's showing up because it's hot. I don't show up.
It's
so
110 degrees out there. I mean, it's
nobody wants to do that. So we've been, me and Brian Trahan, shout out to Brian Trahan. He is taking over the Houston scene. So kind of transitioning in from story mode to now we're potting. you know what I mean? Let me just kind of explain like the positives, because there was a lot of positives. I told you AJ, I met AJ, and I don't think this podcast would be like close to as cool as it looks if it wasn't for my man AJ.
That's right.
And we met him at the Conroe shop. Like I said, we made plenty of good relationships. Shout out to Eric the barber. He worked upstairs, and he was a good friend. He's a disc golfer now too. So shout out to him. But yeah, the positives. No, we will not have a storefront. I'm just going to put that out there right now. We were in talks to do something, and it could possibly something we do in the future. But for right now, we're not having a storefront. I'm going to concentrate to what worked in the beginning, and that's popping up in Houston. And y'all showed me so much love when we were on the course. So I'm going to get back out there. I'm going to do things myself. You'll see me out there at Brian's events.
Yeah, it sucks to lose the storefront here in town because there's not a ton of options for those here besides running to like, Academy or anything like that. So I mean, you got Spring, but that's about 30 minutes away. So that part sucks, but I think it's better for the business overall. And
yeah,
I like that. It was good, hard decision to make, good decision to make.
Yeah, it was. It was tough, man. There was times where I felt like a failure, and then my dad just kind of broke it down to me. He was like, "No, you know what? You're making a good business decision that is going to help you continue to do what you're doing, and just not dig yourself in a bigger hole. So like, don't think of this as a failure. Learn from it." And I have, and I'm lucky that I have my dad to give me advice like that. I mean, not everybody has somebody as business minded as my dad is to help them out through tough times. And he really opened my eyes on a lot of things. He really did. But it was tough. Yeah, it was tough. But like I said, we'll be popping up at all of Brian's events. And like I said, Brian is now head of Lucky Ace in Houston. And he was allowed. So I'll let you get a little insight here. He was actually allowed to build his own team. Let me get the.
Yeah, you got.
I don't want to miss. I mean, when I'm just kind of shooting stuff out, I'll forget somebody, and I don't want to forget.
We've added to the team.
Yeah, I don't want to forget these people that Brian has brought to the team. So Brian brought in David. Oh, man, I always mess up your last name, but I'm going to say Fruend, who's been a good buddy of mine for a long time. I wasn't around a lot when Brian was running events, and Brian's like, "Hey, man, David is a good person to add the team," and he's like, he's there at every event that I do. He helps me with, and never has asked to be on the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. I mean, if you believe that he's going to help you run this better, then let's do it. I'm all about it. So shout out to David. I'm glad you're on the team, brother. Steven, oh my God. I call him Steve-O.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend to say your last name, Melalilos.
It's all good. It'll be on screen.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, shout out to him. His crew, he's from Dead of Night Disc Golf.
Mm.
They run those glow golf minis, glow disc golf minis around the Houston area. We also got Michael Elizondo, Southsider from Houston. He and his wife. So they actually reached out to me a few months ago and let me know that they were interested. And we got them. I think it was one of the first people we reached out to because they've been putting in so much work. So we sent them over a contract. I mean, they were, ecstatic to be on the team. So Ryan's gotten himself his own crew. I mean, I let him know, like, hey, dude, you don't need me for this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, here's the credit card. Like, you run it and run it well, and I will be at your events popped up. Like that. That was what I told him. Like, I'm going to be there. I want to kind of put my face back out there. I know I've been a little hermit crab lately, but yeah, man, if I was going to sit here and lie to y'all and say things have been great, I've struggled, man. Like I'm never one to like feed in and stay in my depression and stay in my hole. But yeah, I mean, things were tough. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but
Gotcha.
I'm good. I mean, I know a lot of people deal with things differently. Sometimes I have to like put myself in isolation almost, and then just kind of regroup and get to the drawing board. And then, all right, I feel like I got a good plan. Let me get back out there. And that's what's happening right now. I feel better. I feel good. I'm ready to get back out there.
No, that's good. I'm glad. I mean, I think it's on brand for Lucky Ace, just transparency and honesty. And so,
Yeah.
last year wasn't awesome. And that's why we're moving on.
Yeah.
Things have been adjusted to try to be better moving forward.
Yeah. No. Back to the team. So that's going to be Houston. Steve-O is also going to be running his own events. Jay Fortner also on the team. He's going to be helping run events. So yeah, I mean, these guys are ready and willing to put in the work. I mean, Brian's already got like B tiers, that he wants to run, that he's actually already emailed and gotten dates for. So, be ready to see a bigger presence than before with Lucky Ace, even though we don't have the shop here. I mean, there's going to be a lot more tournaments now that Brian doesn't have to wait for me to answer yes or no. I mean, the guy's great at running events. He shouldn't have anybody holding him back. I should be there backing him, and that's what I'm focusing on. I'm here for you, and I'm going to back you, and whatever ideas you have, obviously within reason.
Yeah.
Let's not, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you still got to, maybe poke and check every now and then, but yeah, I already see that, or heard and stuff, the amount of flexes and stuff popping up. He's busy.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of building these relationships. I've known Brian. Brian was probably the first disc golfer that I actually knew out here, and he was. First tournament I ever played out here, I met Brian. We put on a card, and that's how I got to know Brian. So he was the first one. So he knows me. He knows what I like now. Oh man, we've butt heads plenty of times before for Lucky A stuff, and so we know each other now a lot more. I mean, we were friends before, but working together is a totally different aspect. And he knows what I like. I know what he likes. And we have a good medium. There's a yin and yang, kind of like me and Justin Davis. There's a good yin and yang. Like he's fire, I'm water. And it works well together. Like I love those type of relationships where we're not the same person. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This guy is fire, and I'm always water, man. I love to just go with the flow of things, and I like to make people happy. Not that these guys don't, but they're just a little more. They're a little more passionate. And they're different about it, and but I love it because we balance. There's always balance. We want to bring balance to the force. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's important.
It's important.
You don't want an echo chamber of people around you. You want a support system that's gonna challenge your thoughts on things. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, but regardless, though, there's movement and stuff that's happening, and so that's exactly what you want in a business and in a creative environment, and that's great.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then in San Antonio, I mean, we touched on it already. Debbie is in charge.
Yeah.
I don't worry about anything because of Debbie. Like she runs. I mean, she's also the team manager. So she runs all that. She makes sure everybody's taken care of. I think the only. I mean, I can't think of anything she doesn't do. I mean, I gave her. Okay, so when I took the shop, because I brought my trailer to load it all up, I took the shop to the Zip. I never seen somebody so happy for all this new stuff. But
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
think,
Christmas for her.
yeah, but I was like, she was so happy, and then the next day she was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so much." And I was like,
Yeah.
"I told you." I was like, "There's a lot here that people haven't seen because it's been in that shop, and now it's going to go online. So our online is going to look a lot better for all you that have so many gift cards saved up from our events. You're going to be taken care of."
Yeah, I can't wait. Between all the custom stamp stuff and all the obviously the big cool popular discs popping out and stuff, you can get your hands on it over at luckyace.com and at the Zip Shop, which I mean, because it's on a course, I mean that's the perfect place for it.
That won't go away. I think that's going to be there for as long as they'll allow us. Shout out to the Madla family. Rodney is now the owner. His dad has stepped away, sold the business to Rodney, and Rodney's been killing it out there. I can go ahead and let y'all know that this year we're going to run an event, but they are also committed to helping pay for new baskets. The Madla
Awesome.
family, and I think if you've been to the Zip, I mean it's probably the best course in San Antonio. The only thing that I ever get negative reviews on are the baskets. And that's because they're probably like 20 plus 30-year-old baskets.
Yeah, I mean it's an expensive fix, but it's an easy fix. You could just pop it out, put a new one in, as opposed like the course itself is so much harder to fix and to change if that were the problem. But no, that's the problem.
No, we've made changes too. We put some OBs out there that we're going to keep permanent. 18 is totally different now. It's a little harder. So make sure you make out to the Zip because our presence is still there and it's going to continue to be there. I mean, we have probably, I can't even, there's a list. I mean, we have a whole new team out there that are players and people running events. So be on the lookout for whatever Debbie's going to be doing in the San Antonio area. So that leaves, okay. So you got Debbie running everything, right? You got Brian running everything, right? What the hell are you doing, Jay?
Podcasting, man. That's what you're.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes that I actually have to do. So I have been busy. I know it seems like, oh, I'm just there for the fun stuff, but man, there's a lot in the background. There's bills that have to get paid. All that. But podcasting. So I know that there's been a huge gap between our last podcast and right now sitting down. Well, obviously you can see what was going through my mind and all the changes that were happening. But I think we got a cool little studio set up. This is going to be our studio from now on. You'll see little upgrades here and there. It'll be cool. But this will probably be, I want to try to make it one of the only pods where it's just me talking. We'll have AJ up here on the couch soon because I hate having him just
across the
with
room
a big ass TV hovering on top of him.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but it's functional. We're good.
We'll have AJ up here on the couch with me. And but for most of the episodes, I'm going to have a guest. We've developed great relationships with plenty of people on tour. There's a lot of very important people that y'all may not know that bring you nothing but the best content from the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And I'm excited to bring them on and give you a new insight, because you can go to the Brody's channel. You can go to the other channels if you really want to hear about all the stuff that everybody else is talking about. But I want to give you the insights on the relationships that I've built on tour. There's so many cool guys and girls that are out there that are making the wheels turn that you need to meet. And I'm going to bring them to you. That's my goal. And hopefully we also do mix in some of those pros that you want to hear from. I'll do my best as a podcaster to ask the questions that you want to know, but not necessarily what's on other channels. I don't want to be somebody who's just going to, we're on ESPN and there's 5 shows and they're talking about the same damn topics every time. So look for us to switch it up and be fun. And I do appreciate everybody for sticking with us as we go through this change. But I wanted this to kind of be episode 0 or a prologue, if you must, to the Lucky Ace podcast season 2. So I will be your host again this year. My co-host is sitting behind the cameras, but still has a camera on him, AJ. So AJ, thank you.
Yeah,
do the
no
clap
problem,
thing
man. Yeah, all that. It'll be a big celebratory thing later. Yeah.
I do want to thank AJ. I mean, he man, it's tough working with me. I'm all over the place. Not just in my head, but in life. Like I'm saying,
literally, yeah.
Antonio,
You're leaving later today. So.
Yeah, I'm leaving right after this pod. I'm picking up my kid early from school. What a cool dad,
right?
And we're going to San Antonio. I'm running an event, the Winter Blast Open at Justin's place. Great place. I mean, Turkey Ridge Disc Golf Complex. If you want to run an event out there, I mean, it's a TD's dream. TD's dream. The course is already there. It's ready to go. It's all staked. It's all stringed. It's cut. I mean, Justin is going to make sure that everything is perfect on his course. You just got to show up and do the event. So go out there, run your events, show Justin some love. He's creating something that is like a Garden of Eden type place, man. I'm telling you, there's gonna be another course he's looking to build out there. So check that out.
That's awesome. Yeah, I see they're constantly running events there now.
Yeah. You see, I'm talking about me traveling, then I go to Justin's place. I'm all over the place, man. So this is what it's like working with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so shout out to AJ for putting up with that. But yeah, we're gonna be a lot more consistent on the pod. Like I said, this is episode 0, season 2. I'm excited about this season. So
it'll be a good year.
It'll be a great year. Anything you want to end with?
I mean, yeah, definitely stay tuned. Follow us on all the social stuff, the Lucky Ace on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. Obviously, if you just want to be in the know. So all the different events we got going on, all the different episodes and stuff we're going to be having, the guests we're going to be having, you got to stay in our social stuff to stay up to date on that.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do a giveaway.
All right, what do you want to do?
I'll give the first person. Oh, this is going to be hard to figure out who the first person is. Right?
You
want to do it?
What do you have in mind? We'll workshop it here on air. What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's do the first person that sends me a video ace. It could be a short one too, right? But you have to hit the ace and you have to say you are now watching the Lucky Ace podcast. Yeah. And send it to us. And the first person that does it, you'll get a $100 gift card to luckyacedisc.com.
Holy cow. I thought you were going to give away a disc.
No, I'm giving $100. $100 gift card to luckyacedisc.com or any of our pop-up shops. Or if you want to go to Zip, you can use it. $100 gift card for the first person to send me an ace that you recorded. But in the video, when you hit it, you have to turn around and say, you are now watching the Lucky Ace podcast. And if you mess up, it's okay. But just make sure to try to get that in there. But it can't be edited, all right?
Yeah, right.
You can't be an old ace.
I'll analyze the footage, make sure there's no shenanigans. I don't want no cut to the B cam and all of a sudden there's continuity errors.
No, perfect. All right. So you heard it here. Send it to Lucky Ace Discs in our Instagram, and we'll get you that gift card set up.
All right. Sounds good. So
that's a good way to start episode 0. Yeah. Welcome to the Lucky Ace podcast.
There you go. Yeah, stay tuned for the full episode 1.
Yeah, episode 1 coming soon. Should I say who's going to be on it or no?
We'll let them see once we actually get it all ironed out and shot. Put it in the can and then we can announce it.
Okay, perfect. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Peace.